Hi Aries, welcome back to my channel, Karma Fox. I am doing your monthly reading for January. Happy New Year's, everybody. I am going to take a quick second to remind everyone that this is a general reading. It may not resonate with every Aries out there. So guys, take what resonates for you, leave the rest for someone else. Aries, we're going to start with your current energy, and then we're going to look at January week by week, all the way to the end of January. So as always, don't force yourself into a reading that's not for you, but this is predictive in nature. You might want to write down, some of the things that I'm telling you and see if it comes through for you. But like I said, don't force yourself into a reading that's not for you. Spirit, can I have the energy of the sign of Aries? What would you like Aries to know for January? Aries. All right, Aries, you are starting out with the Sun in reverse, and it is crossed by the King of Swords in the reverse. You may have had a falling out with somebody, likely in the month or in the fall time frame. It could have been over dishonesty. You're not even sure why. I do feel like you're unhappy about it. Either they may have been accusing you of being dishonest, you may feel they were, but there's just a lack of understanding as to why this is happening. It does look like there was conflict. There's anger here, but there's just a lack of understanding. Let me see what's happened here in the past. You guys might want to look at Capricorn's reading because they had similar energy. So all right, so in the past, we have the Knave of Swords. Oh, okay, so yeah, in the recent past, it could have been that somebody was giving you information or, might have been talking about you. This can represent somebody else that's kind of come in and interfered with the situation. This person would have been, they would have been appearing one way, but actually being another. So, and it would have been communication. Yeah, it would have been through communication. So let me see. And you may not know it. You may not know that this person, they told you something, but they may have had an ulterior motive. Although what they told you was truthful, they may have had an ulterior motive. All right, so in the underlying energy, while all this is happening, we have the Knight of Cups in the reverse. Yeah, you have feelings for somebody. This could even be somebody that is relatively new in your energy. They may have appeared one way, but they were actually a different way. They spin the truth is what I'm hearing, but there's a rejection here. Either you pulled back from this person and you're not expressing your feelings and emotions, or you may feel that they've turned you down. There's feelings though. There's feelings that are not being expressed. Let me see what's on your mind. Show me what's on Aries' mind, please. Oh, this hurt you. Okay, Nine of Swords, you have a lot of anxiety. It's almost like you're waiting for, this knife to fall, to pierce your skin. There's anxiety. You feel like there could be more that you don't know that's going to be said or, that's going to come to light. So there's a lot of anxiety, and you think about this a lot, particularly at night. What is coming in January is the Four of Swords in the reverse. So somebody that there was anger, that there was an altercation with, that you haven't been talking to, there is going to be communication coming in. There's a silence here that's going to be broken. All right, let me see how Aries is showing up in this energy. So in the reading, you're showing up as the Nine of Cups in the reverse. Things not going the way you had thought, the way you desired. Feeling like you're not getting what it is you want out of the situation. Let me see the energy coming towards Aries in January. The Wheel of Fortune. Wow. All right. So you've got somebody that's moving towards you. They're cycling back. So if you see on this card, it's a cycle. It's a cycle. Somebody is circling back. Somebody is cycling back in order to turn the page, in order to bring about justice in the situation. Let me see what Spirit's advice is. Four of Pentacles in the reverse. Spirit is saying that you have to open yourself up, bring your guard down a little bit. Don't carry grudges. That there is something within this situation that holds the key to a resolution. Spirit is saying right now, this is very unstable, but if you can lower your guard without feeling trapped, don't trap yourself to something. Whatever you feel bound in, whatever you feel is keeping you tied to this, you have the key to release yourself from this. So let me see your outcome at the end of January. All right, we have the Six of Wands in the reverse. So don't stress. Something here that has not been growing, that has all but stalled, is going to be addressed in the end of January. Okay? Something that was unsuccessful, it wasn't growing, it's not been moving forward. It's going to be addressed. Now, the bottom of the deck is the Empress. Taurus, Libra energy, but as an underlying energy, this is wonderful for you, Aries, because this shows me that you are seated in the Empress energy. You know your value, you know your self-worth. Like, you are bigger than life in some ways, and I do feel like you are growing things, you're building empires, you're literally in this energy where you are attracting all good things. You're very prosperous, you're attracting, financial, wealth, you're attracting love. It's an energy of high prosperity, high manifestation. And it's all coming about because you know your value, you know your self-worth. So I love that for you as an underlying energy. All right, so let's clarify. Spirit, why is the Sun here in reverse? All right, we have the Six of Wands. You want success in this situation, but you don't know if you're going to receive success. You just don't, you don't have a comprehension or an understanding of why all this is taking place. Why is the King of Swords in the reverse? Ooh, there's that Empress. Again, so twice you have the Empress. So Aries, whoever I'm talking to, you guys are actually highly successful. You've hit a bump in the road. You're a little bit unhappy right now because of this situation, but this is not a permanent state of being for you. This is, like I said, a bump in the road. If you have somebody who was dishonest with you, it wasn't you, because you're in the Empress energy. You may have been dealing with somebody, maybe even an air sign, but this is somebody who wasn't honest and up front. You were thinking everything was a go, everything was beautiful, everything was lovely. So that's why the unhappiness, that's why the bump in the road. But it's not going to last because your energy is just too high. Let me see why this Knave of Swords is here. All right, so Page of Pentacles in the reverse. Interesting. So somebody may have innocently told you something that was very truthful, and they had no idea that it was going to bring about what it has. I also feel like you guys have a lot of choices. You chose somebody in the past. This looks like a relatively newish connection. And I feel like you thought it was going to be successful. But what you need to know, Aries, is that your energy far, far outweighs anybody that you've been running into in the past. You have such a high energy. Like, you have the Empress here twice, but you're drawing in these pages, okay? So I do feel like whenever this happened, there was a lack of communication, possibly even some ghosting that went on. There was some dishonesty in the situation. It does look like it's in the fall time frame. And I do feel like you may have met this person in the summer. So going into the fall is when this happened. Show me why. Thank you. So why all this is happening? Well, we have the Knight of Cups in the reverse, it's clarified by the Three of Wands and the Tower. So you were waiting for this person to come towards you and express emotion. You may still be waiting. And there's a Tower moment that's here. This has caused a Tower moment. Yeah. And it has to do with love that's not being expressed. This whole thing collapsed. And now you're kind of waiting to see what's going to happen. There's a lot of anxiety about it. This whole thing collapsed, but it collapsed because somebody wasn't on the up and up. Somebody wasn't being honest. So there's a lack of communication. It's a situation that you never saw this coming either. And so now you're waiting to hear from this person. You're waiting to see if this person does come back towards you after this Tower moment. So let me see why the Nine of Swords is here. All right, so we have the Seven of Cups and we have the Eight of Cups. Interesting. So you feel like things escalated quickly. They escalated very quickly. And I feel like you think about this a lot. There's still a lot of confusion. You're trying to figure out how to just walk away from the situation, how to stop worrying about it. But I feel like at night in particular is when this really gets to you. It's like you have no comprehension of why somebody walked away from this connection. It's like everything was going well and then this Tower moment happened. So let's look at January. Let's look at January for you. Show me January for Aries. Show me January for Aries. All right. We have the Chariot. We have the Strength card reversed. Four of Cups. Two of Cups. Four of Pentacles reversed. That's in Spirit's advice. 10 of Cups. Seven of Pentacles reversed. Ooh, the Wheel of Fortune. I like that. And the Three of Cups. All right, so Aries, there is going to be communication. If this person lives at a distance from you, I feel like there is going to be travel here. I do see that there's been a gap in the communication. Somebody is going to reach out, either you or the other person. There's going to be forward movement in the situation. With the Strength card in reverse, this might bring up some fears for you, but I definitely see somebody in the first week of January reaching out. Somebody who may have been disrespectful, may not have really valued what you were bringing to the table. It's like this person declared war for no good reason. So if they may live at a distance from you, I do definitely feel somebody is going to be reaching out. Your fear is that this person is just going to do the same thing all over again. So it's going to bring about some sort of fear in you. Also, for some of you, you could be traveling in the first week of January. Yeah, you could be traveling. I do see in the second week of January, I do see you having communication with this person. I feel like if you were carrying any kind of grudge, you kind of release that, you let that go. There's a release, there's happiness here by the middle of the month. However, that being said, I feel like you're still keeping a little bit of reserve here because you fear that this person is just going to do a repeat of the same thing that they did in the past. And I do feel like they weren't recognizing what you were bringing to the table. And so you've kind of learned your lesson here is how you're looking at it. So I see you talking with this person. I see going out, discussing, having conversations. I see you being happy about that. Releasing, any kind of grudge or any kind of ill feelings that you might have towards this person. That looks like by middle of the month, you're going to meet up with this person. So in the third week of January, there might be some sort of unexpected financial loss. It could be related to a poor investment that you've made, or a bad decision that you've made. So be careful with your money in that third week of December. I keep saying December. I wonder if you made an investment in December, January. So it's related. It looks like it's related to possibly a decision that you made, or an investment that you may have made. I don't see it really causing you, it's an unexpected loss, but I don't see it being, major. So also in the third week of January, I do see a lot of happiness. I see some impatience. You're kind of releasing, you're letting your guard down with this person here. And this could even be somebody new. But I definitely see you out with somebody who's approaching you. You let your guard down. There's a sense of happiness here. It's like you're turning the page. For some of you, it is absolutely someone new. For others, it's this person from the past who may be reaching out to you. I do see you being very happy regardless. I see you going out. I see you being very, very open to this person, whether it's past or new. In the third week, there's some sort of impatience for things to move a little faster than what they are. And it is regarding this energy that is moving towards you. So you may even be saying, you know what, this is a cyclical thing. This is what I've been worried about. I don't want to have that kind of worry. And so I'm just going to, turn the page, and you might be dating. For others of you, you might be releasing any kind of, poor experience that you've had with this person. And you might be eager for this to move into a new cycle and have a reunion. So just take it as it resonates with you. I definitely see by the end of January, I see things moving in your favor. I see you receiving good karma. And I also see you going out with family, friends, or possibly, dating. There's social events at the end of January. And they're events that's going to make you pretty happy as well. Let me see your energy in this reading. Show me Aries energy in this reading. All right, we have the Emperor. We have the Six of Coins reversed. We have the Two of Swords, and we have the Ten of Wands. So your energy, I do feel like this is a situation that you've been dealing with where things aren't really going the way you thought or wanted or expected. But I also see you stepping into your power. Now, some of you are dealing with a twin flame or a deep soulmate connection. I do like that both, the Empress and the Emperor are in the upright. So that does mean that while there are a lot of problems here, and the problems look like they are revolving around somebody being wishy-washy, maybe you, maybe them, I do feel like, and it's not in balance right now because of all the problems, I do like that they're both in the upright, so that is promising. So if you are dealing with a twin flame or a deep soulmate connection, just know that, there is hope here in that situation. But for most of you, I feel like this is your energy and you're taking charge of this situation. You definitely are a very high vibrational person. So even though things aren't balanced right now, you know that you have decisions to make here. I feel like you're dealing with a lot. You may have a lot of responsibilities or a lot of people that are relying on you, and you do feel quite burdened and overwhelmed by that. But you also are taking charge of this, and I do feel like even though it's not the way you want it, it's very unbalanced. I feel like you know your value, you know your self-worth. You're so high vibrational that you know that you can make decisions to overcome these problems. You can make decisions that will bring balance to your life, if not the situation itself. So I feel like your energy is exceptional, and I feel like you are definitely seated in your power. Let me see the energy coming towards Aries. we have the Queen of Swords, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy. We have the Magician, very strong Gemini. And we have the Two of Pentacles. So this person who is coming towards you, this is somebody that I do feel like could be a little bit manipulative, but they're manifesting you. This is somebody, so I'm seeing more than one person, but I definitely see somebody that wants to put things back in order. There's this person, you could have an on and off relationship with this person because there's a cyclical nature to it. This person is coming back towards you. They're moving back towards you, or they're manifesting, you know, balance in this situation. They've been weighing up the pros and cons about coming towards you because they may feel that you have your guard up, that you have very high boundaries. Well, of course you do. You are in the Empress energy. And so I do feel like this person is definitely manifesting you. This could be somebody who, you know, might be a little icy in the way that they first approach you, but I don't think that that will last. And I also feel like this is somebody who is manifesting balance here. They've been trying to figure out how to come back around. Now, I'm also seeing another person in your energy here. This is somebody with very high boundaries, very high. This person has been hurt in the past. So they're very guarded, very high boundaries. They could be recently divorced, and they're trying to manifest a balanced connection. They're ready to move forward with their life, and I feel like they're deciding whether or not you are the appropriate person to move forward with. So I do like that. I do like that a lot. Let me see Spirit's advice. Show me Spirit's advice to Aries. All right, we have Temperance, Ace of Pentacles reversed, and the Eight of Pentacles. All right, so Spirit is saying you have everything you need to free yourself from this situation. If this is a twin flame or a deep soulmate connection, you will be guided. There is like spiritual protection and guidance. So even though there has been an ending, things are going to work out. There's a need to look at the details of why things have moved in that direction. But it is blessed. It is a blessed connection if that is the connection you're looking at. I see different timelines, and you have what you need to free yourself from, you know, the situation. I'm also seeing in Spirit's advice that there's a deep need for healing after an ending, and that it's going to require self, like introspection. It's going to require you to look at why things ended, why there was no stability, and how to bring balance back into that. And then not only examine it, but to put the effort into it, into rectifying that. But ultimately, you have everything you need to free yourself from the difficulties that you're experiencing. So let's look at your outcome. Spirit, show me the outcome for Aries. Show me the outcome for Aries at the end of January. Okay, we have the Sun. We have the Five of Cups. And we have the King of Cups. All right, so a situation here that you have been very sad about. There are lessons involved in this. There could be some regrets for things that have been said or done. There's a need again for you to examine what took place here, why this was unsuccessful, and then to learn from that. Because this energy that I'm seeing is that there is a little bit of a tendency to feel like, well, this wasn't love after all, but the love is returning. King of Cups. Now, you could be dealing with a Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer, or a Leo, but there's going to be insight into the love. There's some regrets that are here. So what I'm seeing a lot of, Aries, in your reading is that something here wasn't successful. It's not, you know, currently successful, but you have the keys. You have the keys on what it is that you need to do. There are lessons that are being learned here. And the temptation is to sink into regret or sink into what has already happened and to not acknowledge the love that is present. But once you can, once you come out of that energy, I do see you being very happy. I see you having the love that you're looking for in your life. I see a lot of clarity with regard to love. Definitely a lot of clarity with regard to love, but it's really dependent on your healing. It's dependent on you learning the lessons that this has brought to you as to why it wasn't successful. So basically, following Spirit's advice frees you from all of this regret, all this sadness, and then brings to you the love that you are hoping for, looking for, and it will be very happy. It'll be like a fresh new beginning. So, all right, bottom of the deck is the Death card in the reverse, which tells me as an underlying energy that whatever is taking place here, there's unfinished business, and this is far from over. But it is going to require you to put in the work, you to examine this, and then put the effort into, what it is that you come up with in your individual circumstances. All right, I'm going to pull an oracle card for you, Aries, and we will see. I do see by the end of the month, there's a lot of happiness that's coming your way and a lot of clarity as well. All right, so you have number 8. It's called the Gift of Connection. So give me a moment and I'm going to read that for you. All right. When we gather together, our vulnerabilities can be raw and feel exposed. Yet, when we gather under the influence of this card, we know we are safe and something beautiful will come of our soul's connections. When this card comes to you, you know that the Kitsune have blessed you with the ability to create harmony and connections between those who seem too different, too diverse to truly know each other. This card shows you the way to create a connection, to bring about harmony in a situation where several people who seem unable to get along are thrust together by fate and destiny. Through the wisdom and kindness that resides within you and the fearless way in which you are truthful, you are able to weave people into groups that have a higher purpose and that can together create something greater than they could have achieved as individuals. When this card comes, the most powerful quality that you possess at this time is that of universality, of being able to see through what we seem to be and understand who we are on a soul level. This brings about a sense of safety, respect, and affection between people, and in time this will grow and blossom. This is a time of peacefulness, growth, affection, and harmonious relationships, ones that are truthfully so. These are not forced, nor are emotions or reactions suppressed or denied. These are genuinely affectionate bonds. The group energy created means each person can explore who they are without fear of condemnation or misunderstanding. This is often the card that appears with counselors, therapists, truly gifted teachers, and those who bring people into circle with each other. Oh, no wonder you have such a high energy here, Aries. You're a peacemaker. Yeah, that's beautiful. All right. I like that. I love this reading for you. I do see some challenges, but I also see that you are more than capable of bringing resolution to those difficulties. All right, I hope this has been helpful for you. If you've resonated with this reading, hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. Hype the video if you get the opportunity. And until I see you in your next reading, Aries, Happy New Year, and know that you are loved, and namaste.